Hello, trading is closed on March 3rd, 2021. We always start with our disclaimer. It's my call for tomorrow, March the 4th. Trade at your own risk because I can be completely wrong. Please follow the rules of my channel. My email is mejt.trades@gmail.com. Didn't really make a specific call for today other than the pattern with the early low, which this is what this is. Tomorrow also has the early low. I said normally you would think it would be a down day, but there was such support at yesterday's low that I was reluctant to call it. Well, it was a down day, but if you look at futures, futures are up smartly. Anybody who went short right at yesterday's close had to sit through a lot of pain before seeing a 105 handle drop from last night's futures to tonight's futures. Let's just review what we said. We didn't really have a call. I thought I could explain prices going in either direction. During the day early on, MEJT said this drop was false, said ultimately higher price it would print. They did. When they printed, it said that was false price it would retrace. We had this rally. MEJT said it was false. That ultimately lower price it would print. They did. Now it says this drop is false. Gives us a target of 3849.09. Unless we gap down smartly, that's my call. Here's a wall into the close. You know how I feel about those. Quite often, we'll gap up tomorrow, even though we're down now. But that's often. That's not always. Well, this is how we're counting it. So far, this just looks like a consolidation rather than the start of a new down leg, which is what I was expecting and which could still happen. We just need more confirmation than we have now. There are any number of ways to count this. This probably isn't the end of wave brown C because it doesn't have a Fibonacci relationship to brown A, but whether you count it as a 3 or a 5, you certainly have good fibs at today's low for this leg having entered at a logical place. Doesn't mean if you keep dropping there won't be some other count, but at least you have a count now. Well, this is a 30-minute chart. If you just move this out of the way, you'll see how after today's drop, all these prior lows have held. So it was a big drop which didn't accomplish anything. To accomplish something, you really have to take out some prior lows. The major pattern here is this huge rally we had last month, and these are fib retracement levels. This is 61.8, that's 50%. So far, at least, this just looks like a correction. This just looks like a correction of the February rally, rather than the start of something new on the downside. Now, if this low fell, that would be a different story. But I was expecting much more impulsive action than we've gotten, even though we have had the drop. Well, tomorrow's pattern has really low, doesn't mean you won't gap up. There's a higher MEJT target. Unless we gap down smartly, it is favored to print. The number was 3849.09. Breadth did not deteriorate on today's drop, and in fact, it actually improved. It's better than it was at last month's low, believe it or not. It still has deteriorated enough to assume lower price it would print before the bull market resumes doesn't require us to drop tomorrow. It's pretty weak action, but the higher MEJT target, the wall into the close, the inability to take out prior lows mean that so far it was a big drop which didn't accomplish anything and which left some unfilled targets behind. So if we gap down, we're just going to keep dropping. Otherwise, my target for tomorrow is 38.4909. It's the pattern with the early low, and that is today's call.